Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello, my name is Maftuh.
And my name is Fiorella Kalani. We are from 12 Science 6.
And in this occasion, we are going to review one of the movie produced by Ghibli Studio, so stay tuned. So first of all, I would like to explain about the external elements of the movie. The title of the movie is耳をすませば, is known as Whisper of the Heart, but the literal translation of the Japanese title means if you listen closely. The genre of the movie is romance and adventure. It was released on 15th of July 1995 in Japan. This movie was directed by Yoshifumi Kondo and written by Hayao Miyazaki, based on the manga made by Aoi Hiragi in 1989 with the same title.
And for the next section, I'm going to mention the lead's voice actor. There are Issei Takahashi, Shigeru Muroi, Yoko Hona, Eiju Kobayashi, Takashi Tachibana, and Yorie Yamashita. Now for the internal elements. Whisper of the Heart is about a love story between Shizuku and Seiji. The setting takes place in many places such as Seiseki Sakuragaoka Station at Tama City, library, the school, and Shiro's antique store. The time setting isn't specified in this movie, but it's approximately around 1995, the release time of the movie itself.
And here we have the characters of the movie. For the protagonists, there are Seiji Amasawa, Shizuku Tsukishima, and Shiro Nishi. Seiji is a young boy who likes to tease, but is surprisingly kind and caring. He's also a bibliophile and determined to pursue his dreams. Meanwhile, Shizuku is a bright, cheerful young girl who is also a bibliophile like Seiji is. She also has a creative mind in literature for someone her age. As Shiro says, a diamond in the rough. Talking about Shiro, he is Seiji's grandfather who is kind and supportive to both his grandson and Shizuku. He has a big impact to their journey in choosing their own life path. There is also the antagonists such as Shizuku's doubt, Asako Tsukishima, Seiya Tsukishima, and Shiho Tsukishima. Shizuku's doubt with herself resulted in the anxiety building up within her, to the point she doesn't know where to go in her life. Asako Tsukishima and Seiya Tsukishima are Shizuku's parents. Asako is almost busy all the time, pursuing her bachelor degree, while even if Seiya is mature and kind, they both doesn't really bother with Shizuku's study in general. All they cared about is Shizuku's education, regardless of her dream. Shiho Tsukishima is Shizuku's older sister. She always leaves early in the morning for her part-time jobs and can be late, and she always yells at Shizuku to do some of house chores.
Beside the main characters mentioned by Fawwaz earlier, there's also the tritagonist worth to mention in this presentation, such as Yuko Harada, Sugimura-kun, and Miss Kosaka. Yuko is shown as Shizuku's best friend. She's obedient to her parents because she took additional courses for her studies, but a bit rebellious since she skipped one of her classes. She's also indecisive and shy because someone from the neighboring class sent her a love letter, yet she still likes Sugimura. On the other hand, Sugimura is completely oblivious to the fact that Yuko likes him. That one time, if Shizuku hadn't told him that Yuko was in love with him, he wouldn't even acknowledge her feelings. And instead of responding to Yuko's feelings, he just straight out say that he's troubled by it and confess to Shizuku instead. That's why I say he's selfish. Now let's move on to Miss Kosaka. She's one of the teacher in their school, as a health room teacher to be exact. Her personality is a bit strict, but she's still kind to her friends. She's close with Shizuku and her circle of friends, and lets them have lunch in her office. And now for the plot. 14-year-old teenager bibliophile Shizuku lives a simple life, led by her love for stories and writing. One day, she notices that all the library books she has have been previously read by the same person, Eiji Amasawa. Curious as to who he is, Shizuku meets a boy of her age whom she finds infuriating, but discovers to her shock that he is Seiji Amasawa himself. As she grows closer to him, she realizes that he merely read all those books to bring himself closer to her. The boy Seiji aspires to be a violin maker in Italy, and it is his dreams that strengthen Shizuku's resolve to pursue her own dreams in the times where she was unsure with her life choices. Knowing that her strength lies in writing, she tests her talents by writing a story about Baron, that belongs to Seiji's grandfather, while Seiji himself is pursuing his dreams by studying in a workshop abroad for 2 months in Cremona.
And based on our discussion the other day, here are our opinions towards this movie based on their strengths and weakness.
For the strength, as always, Ghibli Studio has never failed to impress us with its breathtaking animation. Despite the fact that it was released in 1995, the effort put in the animation is simply flawless.
Not only the visuals, the details put in the gestures makes them feel more alive than ever. As shown in one of the scenes when Shizuku's burnout thinking about her future, she woke up from her desk with her reference books all over the places. Her writing drafts clattered from the table to the chair as she plopped herself up to the floor.
And not only that, this movie is not your typical romance movie. Like most of the movies that just shows action such as hugging and kissing immediately means love, this movie shows that love can be expressed with a romantic touch without putting any inappropriate scene. Hence why all kinds of audiences can enjoy this beautiful story.
This movie also has such beautiful soundtracks. One of them is the Japanese version of Take Me Home Country Roads. You'll see after we're done with this section, so don't miss out.
And last but not least, the moral messages in this movie. As a teenager, we can understand Shizuku's anxiety of not knowing where to go in the future. Despite that, Shiro reassures her to have more confidence in herself because she and Seiji diamond in the rough. They both have great potentials waiting to be found. They just need to take it nice and slow and polish their own talents until they find their own chins.
Beside the strong point in the movie, there's also the weaknesses, such as the voice acting. Even though the voice acting in this movie is pretty decent, the actors' interpretation of their own characters are like they're talking as themselves, not their own character.
And now, the messy pace. Halfway through the movie, the plot is kind of rushed. There's no clear explanations on the time settings too, like when did the school holiday ended and when did Seiji came back from Cremona, etc. And finally, we have the movie trailer here. Enjoy!
クレモーナってどんな街かな？素敵な街だといいね。
うん。
Thank you for watching this far. I hope you'll consider to watch this masterpiece after watching our review.
For the score, we have to give it a 10 out of 10 because it's just that worth to watch. Please watch it. Well, that's it. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.